ToonGrin.com.
Hey, did you like that darker tone in the last 4 movies? Too bad! Welcome to the first What's New Scooby-Doo inspired direct-to-video movie, Legend of the Australian Vampire! Well, actually, I lie a little. Legend of the Vampire is not officially considered in the vein of Pirates Ahoy and Chill Out Scooby-Doo. Why? I don't have no idea. And even if it's not official, you can clearly see the similarities from across the room. So, in my personal opinion, this is the first direct-to-video movie to have the flatter, bright animation style of the What's New Scooby-Doo TV series, departing from Mook Studios' darker shading and effects used in the 4 prior movies. And while I miss that shadowing and coloring, I'm glad their style isn't taken up in these movies. The simple designs of the character models in these movies would have looked very weird. Monster of Mexico. It's also returned to the original format from the show, where the monster isn't real and the game solves who is behind the monster of the movie. With a few exceptions, of course. And that was really disappointing to me and a lot of fans. But hey, that doesn't mean these movies can't be good, though. It just means that less risks are being taken, and we're gonna get some lackluster movies as well as some good ones, and awful ones. And this is one of the lackluster. But what's the story of this little tale? Well, on vacation in Australia, Scooby-Doo and the gang decide to go check out the Vampire Rock Music Festival, only to discover a giant vampire called the Yowie Yahoo and his followers, the vampire-sized Wild Wind, are kidnapping contestants in the contest. Now the gang must go undercover as a rock group to figure out who are the people behind these fags. Well, let's talk animation first, because I don't have much to say. While it looks a lot like the What's New Scooby-Doo style, it varies slightly with its more fluid animation, which makes everything come off as a little slow. But hey, you know it could always look even slower and duller. Now, my major gripe with this movie can be summed up in 6 words. Should have been a TV episode. And a particularly weak episode to boot. That's because of 3 aspects story-wise. Let's start with the most disappointing, the Hex Girls. You know, those fun characters from Witches, Ghosts, which actually make these movies now in canon with the Mook animated films? Odd. Anyway, What's New Scooby-Doo introduced them as running characters in this series for a few episodes, so of course they give them a role in the movie, because hey, the Hex Girls are fun, the fans like them, what's the downside? How about the fact the Hex Girls contributed nothing to the story except for an excuse to investigate Vampire Rock, which they should have been investigating regardless, and could have been written out entirely and nothing would have changed. I thought at the very least they could help the gang solve the mystery, but nope, nada, nothing, zip. They're just here for a cameo and to mechanically move the story along. That's it. The second thing wrong? Legend of the Vampire just doesn't seem to get the point of a mystery is for the detectives to investigate the clues and suspects. The game isn't solving who's kidnapping the bands to an extent. They're solving the question of, are those vampires real? First, Velma and Fred have always been characterized as being too cynical to believe in that sort of crap. Second, this leads to plenty of detours in the story where they read out everything about real vampires. Like they can't walk across water, they can't get their pictures taken, they hate garlic, they can't enter a freaking house without being invited in, yada yada. All things we've heard before. But this is the ironic part. Reminding us of all these rules leads to the biggest forehead slap in pure dumbfounded astonishment you'll ever have when the final twist is shown. but no spoilers. This need to explain vampires leads to the mystery feeling more weaker and insubstantial to anything going on. The 1969 Scooby-Doo mysteries didn't complicate their mystery this badly with this sort of crap, and might I add, they were sadly subtler than this movie when giving out clues. What's also disappointing is the monster. Yeah, the Yowie Yahoo has a cool design, basically Chernobog if he were painted gray, but it just looks like Chernobog. Even as a kid, I wasn't impressed by this gray, boring turd. And there is no cultural connection made with actual Australian vampires. Oh, what? We get to take a look at the Bermuda Triangle, witches, aliens, and the Loch Ness Monster, but we don't get anything from Australia? We just get the standard vampire? Boring. I was actually wondering if there was such a monster as a Yowie Yahoo in mythology, but no, there isn't. Well, actually, there isn't in this movie's description of it. The closest Australian monster I could find, which is called the Yowie Yahoo, is an Australian cryptid, which is supposedly the Australian equivalent to the Himalayan Yeti or Bigfoot, which reminds me of Overall, disappointing is the word of the day. Nothing offensively bad about the movie. Animation is good, and it's nice to see the Hex Girls again, but story-wise, a lot of missed potentials and laziness leave me wanting more from that department. I can give this a very, 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 very low recommendation. Like if you see it for $1 at Walmart, then get it. Anything else, skip it.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.